Since early man first looked up at the birds in the sky, he yearned to fly with them. The wind on his face, the exhilaration of speed, and the freedom of the skies. Such is the curse of imagination. Humans' various attempts at flight have been well documented, some being more successful than others. But even now, when we have airplanes that can take us through clouds to far off lands, there are some that continue fearlessly to search for ways to be suspended in thin air, with as little weight as possible. This film is a brief look at skate culture and focuses on skateboarding and BMX. The sport, the identity, the risks, and what drives these daredevils to want to get airborne. For sports that are ruled almost entirely by the 30s, it's easy to forget that skateboarding and BMX have been around for decades. Skateboarding began in the 50s in California. Surfers, searching for things to do when the waves were flat, improvised by attaching roller skate wheels to planks or boxes. And in that simple moment, skateboarding was born. The BMX came about 2 decades later. Kids would customize their Stingray bikes to look like motocross motorcycles that were taking the United States by storm. Not content with mere emulation, these young pioneers would then compete in races over rugged dirt tracks, and it wasn't long before bicycle manufacturers saw the opportunity to build new bikes that were more suited to the rougher ordeal of the emerging BMX craze.
I'm Max Whitehead. I work at UK Skate and UK Skate Park. I'm a BMXer. Worked here for 8 months. I'm manager of the BMX department. Started with the BMX, picked one up for about £300 off my mate, and just went from there really.
My name's Eddie Belvedere. I work here at the Black Sheep Skate Shop in Manchester, and I've been skateboarding for about 15 years. I don't know, I was always into skating as a kid, and then when I started high school, one of my mates had a skateboard and we just started skating together at weekends, and then just got into it through that. Got the skateboard bug, and I've not stopped since. At the minute, it seems to be booming massively. I think because it's coming to the mainstream a lot more, so then it's there's you've got big corporate companies that rinsing it, sucking the life out of it, which happens with everything. But then because of that, then it's in the mainstream, so more people are seeing it. It's becoming more accepted.
There is conflicts between all the different major sports like skateboarding, rollerblading, BMXing, which they don't see eye to eye on most things, but they do get on as far as it goes.
As with any movement, a strong identity is built up over time, and in this, the skate community is no different. As people immerse themselves more in the culture, they can start to be defined by the clothes they wear and the music they listen to.
Skateboard fashion, it's a bit of a weird one. I've probably worn the same clothes for the last 15 years, blue jeans, lumberjack shirt, that kind of style. It's quite fashionable, I think, at the minute for kids. A lot of people are wearing the cool skateboard brands. They might not necessarily be skateboarders, but whatever. I guess it's good for skateboarding.
Of course, once you've got the look, you need to be able to walk the walk. So here are some of the basic skateboard tricks a beginner might start with. an arsenal of tricks such as these in their repertoire, skaters and bikers can take to the streets, where it's rare to find an obstacle that can't be conquered. However, the general public opinion of this is not always favourable.
When it comes to the general public, we get annoyed with street skating or street riding, because essentially to them we are used damaging what taxpayers' money has put into it to make it so good.
Mohammed Marafi, I'm a PTSO at Bootle Street Police Station. You get sort of the stones getting damaged, so obviously that damage needs, it needs to be replaced. Them sort of, them curb stones sort of, so that costs money at the end of the day.
We see it as a hate against us, basically. That's how we end up seeing it, especially when we're younger. We just think they're just out to get us all the time.
And he's probably, to be honest, not a skateboarder. It's probably just some kid that's got a skateboard. But because he's got a skateboard, people just assume he's a skateboarder, and they kind of get listed in the same boat as us.
Generally speaking, I don't really mind them skateboarding, but obviously we have to do a job at the end of the day.
If like the police come, they get cocky, they get mouthy, and it ruins it for everyone else, because that spot then becomes very on top, and the police are always patrolling it, and it'll get shut down. They'll put skate stoppers on stuff, they'll put bricks in the way so it can't be ridden.
I just try and speak to them calmly and as nicely as I can, and explain to them why you can't stay here and why you can't skateboard.
You've got plastic covers for pegs now, so not only does that help you because you go faster, because you can grind stuff a lot faster, but it doesn't damage any of the property because it's a plastic cover rather than metal on metal or metal on marble. It's plastic, so all it does is skim over the top of it, and then if it does leave a mark, it rubs off.
But yeah, I don't know, when I skate I try and be respectable. If there's someone nearby, I'll wait until they've gone and then maybe try a trick again, So.
I just think that a lot of people need to see what they're doing isn't exactly what they should be doing, and stop getting all, het up when people tell them not to do it. Just move on.
Regardless of where somebody chooses to skate or bike, there is always one constant variable. The ground is hard, and when tricks go wrong, gravity always wins.
If you try something that's well beyond your capabilities, then chances are you're gonna spangle yourself and end up in hospital or something.
BMXing injuries tend to be something to do with the legs, mainly their ankles. We see a lot of people popping their ankles out. A lot of people breaking the bottom half of their legs, like the tib and the fib and stuff.
My name's Ricky Powell. I'm a surgeon at the Central Manchester University Hospital's NHS Trust. Normal head injury, impact head injury, it's usually fairly high impact because they're doing skateboarding, BMXing. You start off with something as minor as a concussion or a scalp laceration, which can bleed quite a lot. But moving on from that, obviously, if you're having significant head injury, loss of consciousness, run the risk of having a skull fracture or a intracerebral hemorrhage, so that you can have a bleed inside or outside the brain but under the skull, and that can be an emergency. People often, as a reflex, will put their hands out to try and break the fall. So that can result in different injuries. The commonest is something called a Colles fracture, which is a fracture of what we call the radius, the main bone in the arm, the distal radius, and that buckles the fracture. It buckles the contour of the wrist, and that's the commonest fracture. But you can damage the small bones in the wrist or the bones at the base of the hand, and the number of bones in the base of the wrist and metacarpals in the hand. So you can have small fractures of those, and they can be difficult to heal.
So with the possibility of serious injury, it begs the question, why do people do it?
It ends up being more of a lifestyle, and you don't want to, it's something that you've done for such a long time, you don't just want to let it go because you feel like you'd lose touch with all your friends, so you stay with it from that aspect. And then the other aspect is the adrenaline rush. If you do, nearly smash your head into the floor, you get that big rush, and it's you think to yourself, well, I just survived that, I want to do that again.
It's freedom. It's kind of, it's like painting or whatever. You can paint your own picture. If you want to go that way, go that way. If you want to jump down the stairs, jump down them. If you want to jump up them, jump up them. Do you you know what I mean? If you hurt yourself, you just get back up and carry on doing it.
Some might say there's been a decline in attitude at a national level, yet here's a group of people with tenacity and a can-do outlook that should be seen as refreshing. There is a genuine determination to overcome all obstacles and reach the next level, an attitude that can be applied to all walks of life. What's truly apparent is skate culture becomes a lifestyle for many who participate in it. From the clothes worn to the friends kept, there is a strong sense of community and camaraderie that is held together by a genuine passion for the sports.
It's alright to carry a skateboard now.